Hey everyone, have I here bring a video on Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. In this video, it is time for another edition of Best Teams on Global. This is the January 2023 edition. So with that, if you're new to my channel, like, subscribe, comment below, do all that good stuff. Let's go ahead and dive right in. So I'm very excited to give you a old but new format, because we're going to take the visuals back to like 2019, 2020, and I think you guys will like the clean look of it. It's a little more simpler. But I am going to still build these teams and judge these teams still very similar to the data that I had from 2021, 2022. So just kind of keep that in mind. So speaking of building teams, let's first start off with how I build my teams. So let's start off with just saying the term best teams is my opinion and is purely subjective. There's no official tier list or best teams ranking from Akatsuki or Bandai. And how I build the teams, I look at a multitude of different things: leader skill, damage, defense, special skills like active skills, transformations, flexibility, and bench strength is very, very important, and game mode effectiveness and just general overall gameplay. Now, more so than ever, I'm looking at first position as a defensive spot. So teams that you're going to see on this list here, you're going to see a lot of first position tanks and units that you're going to be running on that position, more so than teams that we ran before, of course, due to the difference in game mode and gameplay for Dokkan these days. And the rest, of course, you're looking for damage output, things of that nature. That flex position, it could be a multiple different things. It could be just leaders that have to put down there. It could be units that have special effects, healing abilities, things like that. And of course, that highlighted golden highlight spot at the end there is a support unit. Again, you don't have to run support units, but I will highlight support units on these teams. Now, when I look at game mode effectiveness, I'm looking at Cell Max standalone as the hardest thing that we can do in Dokkan. Still to this day, even though Cell Max is now introduced at a red zone, in the Ultimate Red Zone, in the Red Ribbon Armored Edition, but I still think the standalone is the most difficult. Of course, the remaining Ultimate Red Zones there, you have some very, very hard stages, and if the team can complete all of them or can do most of them, and especially know how to run them, that's going to get a lot of additional points in considering it a best team. Now, then the following difficulty would be like Super Battle Road, Extreme Super Battle Road. Then I look at Fighting Legend, Goku, Vegeta events. I kind of lump that up with Infinite Dragon Ball history. And then, of course, like Virtual Ultimate Clash. If you can build a full mono team, that's beneficial as well for that type of event. Now, you look at like Boss Rush and Grinding Metals and stuff like that. I don't really look at that as much. And I kind of even left out World Tournament a little bit. You know, some of these teams you can still run with the World Tournament, but World Tournament these days isn't as important as it was, you know, back in the day. So anyway, I didn't leave them off, but I did leave them off of the of this screen here with World Tournament. Anyway, let's go ahead and talk about then the most important change in the format, and that's diffusing the teams. Because if you've seen my teams back in, you know, last year and even the year before, I kind of merged like similar category leads together. For example, the #1 team in December was Movie Heroes, but in of itself there's like 4 teams in Movie Heroes, 5 teams in Movie Heroes. So I kind of separated all those and made a more robust and simpler you know, top 10 ranking, and you'll see that in some of these teams unfortunately are going to be dropping off of the top 10. But know that, you know, the #1 team and the number 15 or 20 team, there's not much difference in being able to do a lot of things within the game. Just in a sense, keep that in mind. I have to nitpick and say, okay, this team is better or that team is better. But yes, this is going to be a diffusion of teams that I normally have brought together. Now, let's go ahead and dive into the top 10 transition here. So coming in at number 10 is Wicked Bloodlines. So the reason why this is in the number 10 spot, because they weren't in the number 10 spot before they provided the AGL Golden Frieza, the LR one that is. Now you can run the EZA LR or EZA Golden Frieza in the secondary main rotation spot, and you're kind of going to need to run that on certain events, of course, the harder events there. But the AGL LR Golden Frieza is such an incredible unit and runs really well with a multitude of different teams, but especially on the Wicked Bloodline. Now, the Metal Cooler Wicked Bloodline team here is a lot different than its counterpart in LR Final Form Cooler. That team is much more flexible, much more robust, so you'll see that further up in the rankings. but this one has a lot less flexibility, a lot less bench strength because it is a single 200% category lead. But yes, very, very fun team to run and can do a multitude of different things. So coming in at number 10 is LR Metal Cooler, Wicked Bloodline lead there. So coming in number 9 is the other 200% lead, full 200% lead in the game, and that is Powerful Comeback. Now, Powerful Comeback did get a big boost that Orange Piccolo is able to run on the Powerful Comeback team. Now, there is a problem with that, and of course, EZA Gogeta is on here as well. Now, the biggest problem here is Piccolo transforms when you have superhero category units in the 3rd turn or later in the same turn, and then you can be able to transform. If not, you have to face one enemy and then 6 turns, right? So that really diminishes the ability for Piccolo to transform on this team, being that there's not a lot of superhero units that you can run. You could run like on a flex position, but if you're going to be running it with the Carnival Goku here, then you can't transform until the 6th turn. So just kind of keep that in mind. One of the reasons why it's in the 9th spot. If you're able to transform earlier, this would be a lot higher, I would think. But Powerful Comeback is a really strong team overall. The downfall to the Powerful Comeback, besides that Piccolo situation, is, again, it is a single category 200% lead. And you really don't have any viable support units. So that's a really big problem, in my opinion, for flexibility purposes. So that's why it is in the number 9 spot. It's still a fantastic team. You can run 2 Carnival Gokus, which is tremendous. And yeah, still a very fun team to run. So coming in number 9 is Carnival Super Saiyan Goku, Birdku, and Powerful Comeback. So coming in the number 8 spot is going to be the Fuse Fighters GT Heroes with LR Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Vegeta. So this team, again, you can run Piccolo on this team. However, the biggest issue here is following the same thing with Powerful Comeback. You're not going to have too many superhero units that's going to be in that same turn to help them transform. Due to the fact that if you're looking at like this team here, you know, you have the Super Saiyan 4s as floaters, and of course they're not a part of superhero. Now on top of that is Piccolo, both Piccolos there, they're not a part of Kamehameha, so they're not running at 200%. And that becomes an issue in of itself, right? Diminishing by 60% with a friend, you know, isn't maximizing the benefits of those units. Now, you do have a great rotation in the Gogeta, right? That's a fun rotation there, and in this case, you're putting the LR Super Saiyan 4 Gogetas as floaters. Now, you can run a different team here and put Piccolo as a floater, and gasp, that's, you know, blasphemy to put Piccolo as a floater, but you can run a very interesting team here, putting Gogeta and Piccolo just kind of outside as a floater, and running more of a pan Super Saiyan 4, kind of a, you know, more of a GT team than anything else, and you can run a full GT team if you'd like to do so on this team. And that's really one of the reasons why it's in the number 8 spot. It's not using the top tier units in its most efficient way. So coming in at number 8 is the LR Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Gogeta as Fuse Fighters and GT Heroes with Kamehameha. So coming in at number 7 is our first look at a Movie Heroes team. And you're going to see a lot of Movie Heroes team, but it is the 7th spot due to the fact that, you know, this team is very interesting when it comes to the combinations you're running, right? This is a Pure Saiyans 200% with Movie Heroes and Joint Forces. And a lot of the top tier teams that you can run are not going to be on Pure Saiyans. Now, this team here is mostly Pure Saiyans. And of course, you can take out Piccolo and put in someone else in that spot to get a full 200% team. And you can run an amazing rotation of Carnival Goku and EZA Gogeta. However, if you're like trying to run like red zone things of that nature, you're more likely to bring something like this here. And this is a team that you can run LRGG on, and you can run Carnival Goku, and you can run Orange Piccolo. All of them you can run on this same team, which is incredible. However, LRGG and Orange Piccolo is really at 170%. But, you know, fortunately, the Carnival Goku is running at 200%, being that it is a Pure Saiyan and Movie Heroes. So it is still a fun team to run. I just don't think it is as efficient, and but it does have some really nice different combinations. Like for example, here you can run Gamma 1, Gamma 2 as well, again at 170%. And then you can run, I don't have the slide for it, but you can run the Goku Piccolo combination. That's a very fun combination on this team as well. But again, overall gameplay and effectiveness, I think it's lower tier. It's the, I don't say the worst, because I don't think there's a worst on movie hero category leads, but it's the least efficient and least effective, being that Join Forces Pure Saiyans, or Join Forces and movie heroes with the Pure Saiyans 200% doesn't really work out too well for Piccolo and LRGG, right? So anyway, coming in at number 7 is Join Forces movie heroes with the LR Super Saiyan Goku and Vegeta. So let's go ahead and now move on to the number 6 spot. Now the number 6 spot, I did have it in the top 5, but again, using the different type of format and thought here, you're generally running this team at 170% besides LRGG. So LRGG itself is a top 3 unit, right? But the team that he runs, even though Bond Parent and Child is amazing, not a lot of them are on Battle of Fate, and that's what limits it to be a top 5 team, even though it was a top 5 team before. But remember, I grouped in movie heroes together, so with the expansion of movie heroes, I did drop this team a little bit lower. And but you can run still a very fun team here. This is the combinations with the LRGG, with the Goku and Gohan, with the Carnival Goku. You can run LR Ultimate Gohan on this team here, so you can't run Piccolo though, and that was a big downfall of keeping them in the top 5, right? Is no LR Piccolo, so hey, you can't be in the top 5. There is one team that is in the top 5 without LR Piccolo, so but overall, very fun team to run. But if you do want to run more of a 200% team, you're gonna have to run some Zamasus on here. You can run like the EZA Vegito Blue, stuff like that. So still, it is a overall team that you can run in a multitude of different game mode effectiveness, and still very effective, being that first position wall with LRGG is going to be fantastic. So again, if you're doing Ultimate Red Zone and harder stages, you want to bring a lot more defensive units. And here's the thing I didn't talk about is you have a lot of support. Bond Parent Child has a lot of support units, and I only just feature a few here, but some really strong support units you could run, like a High School Gohan and stuff like that. So coming in at number 6 is Bond Parent Child Future Saga with the 200% to Battle of Fate, and that's LRGG. So let's move on to the top 5, and the only top 5 team that doesn't have Piccolo is LR Final Form Cooler, because of course you bring on LR Golden Frieza with the flexibility of this team of Terrifying Conquerors, movie bosses, and transformation boost. You got something special here. So we already know how good the Final Form Cooler is, but when you start putting an opportunity to put a first position wall in, now you have LR Golden Frieza, you have Janemba running in that first spot there, then you're crushing it with that with that damage of Cooler. And then the floating position, you can just have all of them as support if you want to. I did put Metal Cooler here just to put Metal Cooler here, even though he's running at 170%, which I'm not a big fan that he wasn't on Transformation Boost. So, but this has so much more flexibility than the Wicked Bloodline team. You can literally run a Wicked Bloodline team as well. So again, very nice team that not only that you're getting a 200% boost on most of the units that you're running, but in of itself, a lot of these units buff the entire team as support as well, just like the EZA Strength Cooler, and then you have like Cooliza, you have Turles on here, etc, right? So very good team, and that's the reason why I did put them in the top 5. The best extreme team that you can run is coming in number 5, the LR Final Form Cooler with Terrifying Conquerors, movie bosses, and 200% for transformation boost. Now top 4, all of them are movie hero type teams. All right, so that's how strong movie heroes was in 2022 and leading still into 2023. They just said, hey, if you're not running movie heroes, what are you doing, right? So coming in at number 4 is the Power Beyond Super Saiyan and Movie Heroes team with Kamehameha, and that is the LR Gods. I still think that this team is wonderful. The flexibility is very, very strong with Power Beyond Super Saiyan. The only issue, of course, with the Piccolo being on the team, it is not Kamehameha, so you are just going to run them at 170%. However, they transform a lot easier, being that the LR Gods are a part of the superhero category, and they can transform in the third turn and beyond, so you're not gonna have any problems if you just needed to transform, just in case you was in a tough spot or something like that. So makes it a lot easier. Now the support units, I did put in the Krillin on here. I just want to give Krillin some love just because he is on Kamehameha, but you can run some other units on there that's not Kamehameha that are probably better support units, but I just highlighted Krillin on there because we don't get to see Krillin on a team that much. So so you can build this team here and running a Piccolo rotation, and then a Carnival Goku and Easy Gogeta rotation. Of course, Gogeta, it is RNG. If you don't like RNG, you can definitely swap them out for something else. But of course, you can always run the Gamma 1, Gamma 2 combination, which is a strong combination. However, since they are not Kamehameha, they are still going to be running at 170%. But overall, the combinations you can run, the 6-year anniversary units, 7-year anniversary units, again, Power Beyond Super Saiyan, there's just a vast amount of different options you can run. That's why I did have them in the number 4 spot. That bench strength and flexibility is just very, very strong. So coming number 4, LR Gods, Power Beyond Super Saiyan Movie Heroes, and a 200% boost for Kamehameha additional to that. So coming in number 3 is the only one that I kind of kept a merge together, right? And that's Gamma 1, Gamma 2, but really highlighting just Gamma 1. Right, Gamma 2 team is fantastic, right? You can special pose and androids you can run as a subcategory to Movie Heroes, and you can have to run this team to complete a mission in the red zone. But Gamma 1 is, I think, the superior overall team that you can build. Being that, here's the thing, you can run a Piccolo at 200%. That's already head and shoulders above a lot of different things that we talked about here, right? 200% Piccolo is very, very, very strong. And the thing about Gamma 1, he does provide a defensive support as well. Gamma 2 provides a offensive support, so depending on what you like more, offensive, defensive, you can run either team, right? This is basically the exact same team that you can run. Now, the biggest difference here is whenever you want to do the transformation, we kind of talked about that. If you're going to be running Carnival Goku with Piccolo, you have to kind of remove that rotation, because you do want full superhero units on the same rotation if you want to transform in the third turn or beyond, right? So, or earlier, and if not, you have to wait until 6 turns. So this team, then you can just run the Goku as a floater, but again, if he's floating here, you're not be able to transform. So if you want to bring like a Gohan, right, in that spot, or another superhero like the Gods or something like that, you can run that as well. Now, this team is one of my favorite teams to run due to the fact that you're kind of having like a triple defensive support. So if you're running like a red zone and you want some additional defensive boost, here you go, right? So unfortunately, Gamma 1, Gamma 2, you kind of need them in the main rotation for a little bit, or at least Gamma 1 in this case scenario, because you want him to build up. But I guess you can just have him as a floater build up as well. So there is a situation where you're going to have some difficulty in the third spot if he's not built up correctly, or if Pan doesn't dodge, things of that nature. But ultimately, if you're running a 200% Piccolo rotation and then a Carnival Goku and Easy Gogeta rotation, it's going to be really, really fun. So coming in number 3 is Gamma 1, Gamma 2, Movie Heroes, and Accelerated Battle Worthy Rivals. And then, of course, Gamma 1 is Artificial Life Forms, and Gamma 2 is Androids and Special Pose. So, all right, top 2, of course, top 2 has to be superheroes, starting with the Ultimate Gohan team. Ultimate Gohan is not going to be running on the main rotation, generally speaking. You're going to be running this team off rotation as floaters, as the Gohan there, and Gohan can run very nicely as a floater position. So, but you're running a 200%, fully 200% LRGG Piccolo rotation. talk about not dying, right? So you're not gonna have any issues here at all. Maybe some key issues. That's really the only biggest issue with that, since Piccolo doesn't link up really with anybody on the key side. However, of course, when he does his ultimate 18 key, he's going to provide additional key to individuals on the team. But LRGG is going to stay in that first position, locked in there, and will be your defensive wall. Then you have a Gamma 1, Gamma 2. That's going to be, you know, very strong there as well once they all built up. And then a multitude of other alts and different types of units that you can run. But generally speaking, floater position is just going to be Ultimate Gohan, so since there are going to be your leader and friend there, right? Support units are a lot better on this team than the number 1 team that we're going to talk about, because Hybrid Saiyans, there's just a ton of Hybrid Saiyan support units. Now, if you really wanted to run Ultimate Gohan in a main rotation, I would just put him with, you know, Ultimate Gohan, right? So the ultimate Gohan, the tech Ultimate Gohan. So the transformation tech Ultimate Gohan is the team or the unit that you can run, and then once he builds up, you can even transform him, things of that nature. But again, I think the floating position for this and running a Gamma 1, Gamma 2 is your best bet here. But again, you can run like an Easy A Gogeta or something like that on this team here as well, and a lot of options when it comes to superheroes. And then that 200% boost for movie heroes, you're covering quite a bit of units here. So coming in number 2, I think is a more flexible team than number 1, but number 1 is just too good, and that's Superheroes Hybrid Saiyans with a 200% boost for Bon Apparent Child and movie heroes. And of course, number 1, what beats 1 Piccolo, and that's 2 Piccolos. So number 1 team in the game on global right now is LR Piccolo running his own team, Superheroes Battle of Wits. Battle of Wits isn't as flexible as Hybrid Saiyans. However, it doesn't matter. You're running a rotation of LRGG Piccolo, Strength Piccolo, Piccolo. You're done. You're not going to die in those rotations. The only issues that you're going to have is your floater position, right? So you just got to make sure what floater position you're going to bring on any type of particular event, and that's all you have to worry about. So, but the main rotations, as solid as it gets, you're not going to die. And again, that's just, you know, if you're doing that, you're not having to worry about really anything else. So in that main rotation. So if you do want to bring in the Gamma 1, Gamma 2 rotation, I think this is a very viable rotation as well. But again, you're putting Piccolo down as a floater position. How dare you, right? So I guess you could put Piccolo in with Gamma 1, but then Gamma 1, it's going to be hard for him to get a super attack off and things of that nature, because he's not going to link up very well. But if you put like Piccolo in the first position and he gets off his you know, ultimate and things of that nature, he's going to give at least that 3 key to everyone else. Then Gamma 1 then can get off a super attack. So again, you can run it this way, but you're much better off maybe just leaving Gamma 1, Gamma 2 off, or if you want to bring Gamma 1 in, I think this is like the best standalone team you can run, and you can just complete so many different events, right? Your LRGG, Orange Piccolo, Strength Piccolo, Orange Piccolo, done. And then you have some RNG here, but still, after 4 turns, he's just a crazy beast, is Easy A Gogeta, and then Gamma 1 as a support, and he can start building up. And then the Pan as a support as well. So super good, very good options that you can run on this team here. And I think by far right now, running 2 Piccolos on 1 team is going to be your best team in the game. So we'll see what happens in the 8-year anniversary to dethrone Piccolo, but Global is going to have this as the number 1 team for quite some time, I would think. So anyway, quick summary here for the best teams. Coming number 10 is the Wicked Bloodline team. Then you have Powerful Comeback at number 9. Then you have GT Heroes and Fuse Fighters with Kamehameha. Then you have Movie Heroes and Joined Forces with Pure Saiyans. Then number 6 is LRGG with the Bon Apparent Child, the Future Saga, and Battle of Fate. Then you have that cooler top extreme team there with Transformation Boost 200%, but with Movie Bosses and Terrifying Conquerors. Then you have number 4 spot with the LR Gods and Movie Heroes, Power Beyond Super Saiyan, and Kamehameha. Then you have Gamma 1 / Gamma 2, but Gamma 1 more importantly there with the Movie Heroes, Accelerated Battle, and Worthy Rivals. Then you have the 2 superhero teams, right? You have the Gohan team with Hybrid Saiyans, and then the Piccolo team, which is going to be the #1 team with the Battle of Wits team with movie heroes as secondary. So I think this is a good list. That's just my opinion here. Tell me what you guys think. I think some of you guys might have some disagreements there. Basically, the TUR 200% units, I in a sense just left off. The only TUR that's a leader on here is Gamma 1, Gamma 2. That's it. Other ones are just left off, but I'm not saying that they're not good. They just didn't crack the top 10. So anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you are new to my channel, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Thank you all for watching. Keep on Dokkaning, and we'll catch you in the next one.